So you're a real estate agent, broker, or team that understands that YouTube and video branding is the ways to grow your business in 2021, but you don't know where to start, what videos to create. Well, you're in luck because in today's video, we're gonna go over the 5 videos that you must create for your YouTube channel to not only see subscribers and views and comments, but generating you free leads, free business, and ultimately helping a lot more people. So stay tuned. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Aaron here, back once again from the Real Estate Marketing Guys, as well as Revamped Real Estate, a company built specifically to help real estate agents, brokers, and team leaders absolutely explode their business with YouTube. Not only on how to create videos, but also how to run YouTube advertising and get in front of people that are searching on Zillow, Realtor.com, people that are actually in market and wanting to buy a house that literally just need somebody to ask them if they need help. But of course, with this YouTube channel, we try to give out as much free information as we can. So make sure to click the subscribe button as well as a notification bell right next to that to get notified every single time we upload a brand new video all about YouTube, video branding, and much, much more. And make sure to stay to the end of the video because I'm going to give you a couple of secret tips that you can use to make sure that you never run out of video ideas, because I know it's something that a lot of people struggle with. So again, make sure to stay to the end. So let's jump into it. The 5 videos that you must create for your real estate business. Now, before we go through the 5 videos, I think it's really important to first understand why YouTube and why do we create these specific types of videos. Now, you might have tried posting on YouTube in the past, but there's a good chance that you're probably creating videos like, here's my listing video of 123 B Street, or this is how you can buy a home, and here's how to get pre-approved for a loan. Well, the only problem with those things is the competition is really, really high. Yes, the search terms are high, but all the videos that we're going to show you today fit this perfect formula that we look at of really high search volume and really low competition. So all that does for you is it allows you to rank really, really well as long as you're following these and staying more on what we're calling hyper local content. So with that being said, let's jump into the 5 videos you need to create for your real estate YouTube channel. Now, the first video here is kind of self-explanatory when it comes to the cost of living in your area. So for example, I'm in Virginia Beach right now. I would make a video of cost of living in Virginia Beach, Virginia. So when you're thinking of your cost of living video, really going over the main obvious ones that you would as a real estate professional, going over, the average price point in the area, average mortgage price, average, property taxes, whatever that may be. But you also want to have a little bit of fun with it. And also, this jumps in a little bit to, what we've talked about in previous videos. If you haven't seen the personal branding video, highly recommend that you check that out after you watch this one. I think there's a link somewhere up there on the top right of the video that you can go check that out. But having the cost of living and also jumping a little bit more into your niche. So for example, let's say you love breweries, right? Go to, a brewery and just be like, hey, an average pint of beer here in the, in this brewery is X amount, right? Or just really getting creative with the different cost of living, topics, if you will. Now, other ideas could be things like, average night on the town, or, average daycare. What is it like for private schools, right? Just really anything that they need to know when they decide to move, live, and relocate to your area. A really good example here would be, let's say you're somewhere where it's really, really hot, for example, like Arizona. One thing that I would really touch on, and, I would always touch on utilities in the cost of living, average utilities, but somewhere in Arizona where what I've heard is like $600, $700, $800 electric bills sometimes, especially when it's really hot. That is a super notable thing that I would include into the cost of living video because, where I live, it's like on average like $100, $150 for my utilities, but over there it'd be 5, 6, 7 times as much, which is again a really important part to put into your cost of living video. Now, jumping into the next video, and this is, I would say, probably the most important that I would do in every single market, right? So for example, if you're watching this and let's say you're a team leader or a broker and you have people living all over the US, literally tell all of your agents in every single market to make this video, pros and cons of living in your city. Now, a very, very important part when it comes to pros and cons, as well as, a lot of these other videos, is you want to be honest with people, right? You don't want, when you make these videos to come off like this is the best place in the world and, saying nothing about it. There's no crime, there's no this, there's no that, right? This place is just perfect, because all it's going to do is make it seem like you're trying to push people into that specific area, right? Which is something that technically you're not allowed to do. So when you can, again, be a little bit more unbiased, right? And of course, you're not going to want to come up with a bunch of negative things things to say about your area, but what are some things that you would fix, right? What are some cons of living in the place where you are, right? A great example for me, I live in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and we live next to one of the, or I think it's the largest Navy base in the entire world, and there's consistently basically 24 hours a day, jets flying over the houses, right? So I would put that, and I did put that in my cons video, is you don't want to live here if you don't like the sound of jets. Now, to be honest, I've lived here for the past 15 years and I've gotten pretty used to, not hearing them and, them going over, and I kind of just phase them out. But again, something that I would include and something that I did include in my pros and cons video of living in Virginia Beach. So really just, 5 pros, 5 cons. And if you can't come up with things, some recommendations that I always go to, and this goes for all these videos, is either go to Google, right? Type in pros and cons of living in the area. Of course, don't, jot down every single point and read it verbatim, because that's basically plagiarism. Well, it is plagiarism, but use it as inspiration. Another really, easy tactic that you can use is literally just go to Facebook, right? Go to your Facebook. And if you're living in the area and you have a lot of friends that also live there, just post. What are some of the best and some of the worst things that you guys, love and hate about this specific area? And people love giving their opinions, so you're always going to get flooded just different things that you might have never come up with by yourself and come up in the first place. Now, jumping into video number 3 is going to be where to live in your specific city. Now, the way that I look at this one, and this is going to be, each person that would create this video would probably be a little bit different, but the way that I like to break it down is just looking at, what would it be like to live, or where should somebody live based on their specific client avatar? So obviously this comes down to your niche as well, figuring out exactly who you are. So let's just say that you're only targeting relocation people, right? You're going to say like, hey, here's where you're going to want to live if you are, looking to move to the area. Here's the closeness or the, the proximity to the base, to this, to that, and really just breaking down for your client avatar as well as multiple client avatars of this is where you should live if you are X. So for example, single parents, right? Or a single mom, single dads, whatever. Maybe there's a bachelor, right? Maybe it's a family. You're going to want to live here because you have more backyard space. You're going to want to live here because it's in the middle of downtown. You're really close to this, that, and the other thing. So making sure to help them understand here's where you need to live if you are X, right? Building that into there. So again, there really is no right or wrong answer to this. It's going to be mostly like based on your niche, your specific client that you're looking to attract, and then just going from there. So jumping into the 4th one here is going to be the top 5 neighborhoods of your specific city. Now, this one and the last one kind of go into like that whole list type of video. You've probably seen them before, like top 5 this, top 7 this, top 10 this, is just really being able to give somebody the reason to watch through the whole, through the whole video, because they're like, oh, I want to see what number 1 is or number 3 or whatever it is. And this kind of goes into a separate video that we're going to make, but more of just breaking down the structure. It's like, hey, so if you're watching this video and you want to learn everything you need to know about blah, 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 make sure to stay till number 5 and then just giving them a reason to watch the whole video. So again, that's kind of going into, a later training that we're going to be doing, but really top 5 neighborhoods of living in your city. Now, again, it's going to be pretty much your opinion. It's going to be very opinionated, but what I would do and what I've done in the past for these top 5 neighborhood videos is literally just looking at Google and seeing, this is based on, what Google is telling me. And I'll even say that sometimes. It's like, hey, based on Google, these are the top 5 neighborhoods here in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and we're going to go visit them today. And then what you're doing is you are incorporating a little bit of fact, right? As factual as Google can get, but also showing them where those specific places are. Because, when we bring everything back to it, the main thing that we're generating from these types of videos is people that are moving, looking to relocate to the area. So if someone of that type of client is looking at your videos, of course they're going to want to see, what it looks like, right? I know a lot of people, sometimes they get stuck in their office or stuck in their home office or, in front of their house or whatever it is, but you really want to be able to show, especially for this type of video, is showcase the actual neighborhood, like show what it is around the area. If you have a drone, and not saying that you have to have a drone, then fly over the neighborhood, show like, here's where this store is, here's where this, here's where that. So again, it just gives you that opportunity to do one of these list videos. And then if anyone's looking to move to the area, and let's say they were doing their own research before, when they see your video, it's almost validating what they were maybe researching, or maybe pushing them away if they saw like, they were doing the research and they're like, oh yeah, we want to move to this area. You make your top 5 neighborhoods video. They see your video and they're like, whoa, like, I'm really glad this person made this video because we were going to move there. Now we're not. They're going to reach out to you and be like, hey, we need your help because, we're trying to find a neighborhood that fits this, that, and the other thing. And there you go, free leads. Now, the number 5 video that you need to create for your real estate business is going to be the 7 steps to moving to. Now, this is one of those, list type videos. It doesn't have to be 7. It's just give it some sort of number, maybe 3 to make it a little bit more exclusive, or, 10, of course, understanding it's probably going to be a little bit of a longer video, but really just, the 7 steps, anything that they would need to know when moving to your specific area. So, for example, again, back to the whole jet noise thing, is I would say, and maybe more a little bit as a joke, is like, one of the, step number 2 of moving to Virginia Beach is make sure to buy some earplugs because of the jets that are consistently flying over the houses, right? That might be a little bit dramatic, but it's one thing that I would throw in there. Another thing would be, if you're moving to Virginia Beach, make sure that you purchase flood insurance, because it's literally, I forgot, there was like some Netflix series that all about like Norfolk and Virginia Beach, this area specifically, and how we're like basically will be underwater in the next like 200,000 years or something like that. But just again, that would be something where I would touch on, because they would 100% need flood insurance depending on where they're moving to the specific area. So just some little nuggets that you can take away from this. So think about your specific city, or hey, like we said earlier, post up on Facebook and say, if you were moving to this area, what would be a tip that you would give somebody, right? And you would get a bunch of different answers. And a lot of times when I've tried this specific method, there was something that came up and I was like, oh, I completely forgot about that. When you're the only one of thinking of the ideas, you kind of get stuck in your head a little bit. So it's good to get some, some different insights from other people that also might have lived in the area longer than you have, right? So again, 7 steps to moving to, or you can do 3 steps or 5 steps, whatever may be, but just make sure there's a number at the beginning so that people have something to look forward throughout the video. Okay, so as promised at the beginning, we're gonna go over a really quick bonus tip that you can use to make sure that you never run out of ideas. And this is actually really simple based on, just doing some research on those videos, is break every single one of these ideas down into other bite-sized pieces. So for example, let's say you have other smaller cities or outskirts cities that people might be looking into, but they don't necessarily know are there. For example, if someone's looking to move to my area, Hampton Roads, Virginia, or let's say Virginia Beach, Virginia, they don't understand that, places like Chesapeake and places like Norfolk and places like Suffolk, right? They don't know that they actually exist until they start doing a little bit more research. So if I just kept the main keyword of living in Hampton Roads, right? So the massive area, and then we do pros and cons of Chesapeake, pros and cons of Norfolk, pros and cons of, insert different cities, so that again, you never run out of ideas. And the second part of that too is just, for example, you have the pros and cons video, right? We can do pros and cons, or just a specific video all about the pros, right? 15 pros that you need to know when moving to the area, and then vice versa, 15 cons, or the 15 things that you need to know to not move to the area, right? There's so many different sub ideas that you can come off of just from the ones that we recommended in today's video. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video, guys. The 5 videos that you need to create for your real estate YouTube channel. Now, if you found this video helpful at all and you want to stay up to date with all the other videos that we're going to come up with, of course, this is just the, how the 5 videos that you need to create, but we're going to go over the video structure, exactly how to intro a video, what you need to have in it to make sure you're generating business. So many different ideas. So make sure you click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell right next to that to get notified when we upload those types of videos. And also leave a like on this video. It helps it get out to so many more people that may be also confused about YouTube, what types of video posts and things like that. So anyway, guys, like I said at the beginning, my name is Aaron from the Real Estate Marketing Guys, as well as Revamped Real Estate. If you guys have any questions, obviously leave them down in the comments below, and we'll see you on the next video.